Hello and welcome to OTV News. My name is Dipti Ranjan Das. With me, I have the former ambassador to Ukraine, Mr. Partha Satpathy. So welcome to OTV News. We are the digital wing of OTV.
Thank you.
So before we begin, congratulations on handling the mammoth and complex situation in Ukraine. Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
To begin with, sir, first question that I want to ask you is, what was the biggest challenge in the complete evacuation process in Ukraine?
It was a very challenging exercise. I think there were many big challenges. Therefore, it's difficult to say the biggest, but the biggest that I would put is the number of people, 22,500 plus students and Indian citizens. That was the biggest challenge when we looked at the operation in its entirety. And of course, this was all in a conflict zone.
Right.
And in open conflict, to bring all these people out, that too safely, to the other side of, to the safer parts of the world, were some of the challenges that we did face, and thankfully we could succeed.
Sir, how many Indians have been evacuated so far and how many are yet to be evacuated?
No, practically all Indians have been evacuated, and we put various figures in the range of 22,500 who have been evacuated. And before the conflict began, some 4,000 people had already left the country. So therefore, it was a massive exercise. And this is what Operation Ganga was all about.
Right.
And it was a carefully coordinated and planned evacuation exercise by the Government of India, in which every organ of the Government of India functioned and cooperated well. We, of course, at the embassy were at ground zero. So we had the magnified view of what was happening, and therefore the responsibility also to implement all these plans. And in the end, I must tell you, it went well. We could bring all of them back home. That was the biggest achievement.
So, sir, the Indians who are currently in Ukraine, I mean, is it their choice to stay there?
I don't think there are any Indians.
No Indians at all?
At all. Those who might be there, they probably have not informed us. So I don't we have evacuated everyone.
Sir, how did you locate Indian students? Did you take the help of social media?
Yes, we had carried out the exercise of geolocating all our population in Ukraine.
Right.
And we collected this information, and then we found out their geographical distribution. Not only that, the density of the distribution, and then mapped it with the vulnerability of the positions. So that gave us an idea which had to be tackled when and how risky it was. So all that planning helped in the final conclusion of this operation. So
the next question that I want to ask you is, how did the local Ukrainian authorities coordinate and facilitate the entire process?
They of course helped us. Without their help and support, it would not have been possible, because you would have seen at the border crossing itself, when so many thousands of people are crossing, our people also crossed with them. We were in touch with those authorities all the time. In addition to that, the infrastructural requirements, right. Railways, buses, they helped. And of course, you had to host them in different areas, so that also was very helpful. So all this fed into the success of the operation.
So the next question that I want to ask you is, despite language being a barrier, why do Indian students prefer studying in Ukraine?
I think the demand or the pull is medicine. They want to be doctors. And since the Soviet times, Ukraine has been a hub of medical education. They have a number of universities, and our students therefore gravitate towards these universities. The cost of education is also cheap, and there is both a demand factor from India and a supply factor from the country, so I think they both match up.
Sir, amid the turmoil and geopolitical wrangle, how challenging is diplomacy?
You see, diplomacy is a practice where you project your government's foreign policy in a manner in which the parties to whom you intend that communication understand and of course appreciate. And Indian diplomacy has practiced this over the years, and I must say have done it very successfully, and that is why the reputation of India abroad and in its field of diplomacy.
So sir, I would not be wrong to say that the primary role of a diplomat is to balance the geopolitical situation. Among
other things. There are lots of other responsibilities. We promote culture, we promote commerce.
Right.
So, yes.
So, thank you for talking to OTV News. It was a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.